All right, guys, what is up? We are looking at the videos for inspiration on the future of swimming, things that you need to be implementing before your competition does. General, just taking the attitude of the sport to where it needs to be. Now, you're gonna pretty much a lot of stuff comes from outside the sport, and you may look at this and be like, Dax, like, no, like, this is not swimming. We're cordial and blah, 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 blah. Like, that's fine and dandy until you run into a coach like me who comes from a different culture, hooping, which is a lot more vicious, and we don't care about you, and we're gonna rip your heart out and sell it to your family. So, um, yeah. So anyway, I just kind of went on a weird tangent right there, didn't I? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna look at. We have 4 videos today, and we're gonna talk about some important things that correlate to swimming on top of attitude things we need to see in the sport to take it to the next level. So let's get it. All right, so here's our first one. So this is on team bonding, all right, and this is going to go into something that we did at UT, right? So this is, I don't know what player this is, but white guy, right? They're talking about how Eugene had such a bad snowstorm that they shut down the campus.
A block party.
This coach couldn't get out of his driveway. We're just like, let's go have fun. So that week we finally actually like kind of do some team bonding, like go out together. We're in a snowstorm, so we're just like having fun. And then after that we go on a 10-game winning streak, go to the Sweet 16 and like turn things around, and I start playing like completely different, more confident. I don't know if it was the snowstorm, but it's just like a moment like that, hanging out with the guys, like finally kind of like, just forgetting about everything and just like letting loose. I just remember that like the whole college was together, just outside, snow gear on, like. And then we just 10-game winning streak, couldn't get. And we lost by like 2 points to Virginia in the Sweet 16. So, but that transition though led to me then like skyrocketing, because then I like test the waters, and my senior year I came back, and I just never looked back after that. My junior year, I was sucking, and our team was terrible,
All right,
and we were
so
down in the
let's talk
dumps.
about this. So, first of all, snowstorm. My freshman year, we had a snowstorm also. Let me see if I can find a picture. I'll pull it up while I'm talking. And I'll never forget this. Like, we walked outside the dorm, right? And campus, like, you couldn't get in campus, like, at all. It was completely iced down. And I remember going to, so there's the dorms, Jester Dormitory. For those of you who are familiar with Texas, you'll see this a little easier. So there's Jester, and there's the Jester Beach, which is like the slope, hill, whatever, that goes to the street, right? So there's a street that goes around past Jester West, which is another dormitory right here. And then it goes up, and then right here is like all your food places, right? It goes up, and then it splits 2 ways. One way will take you to Guadalupe Street, which runs right by the tower. Everybody should know what the UT Tower is. And then the other way, this way, so this is where the food place is, right? Jester West, Jester East, Jester Beach. Man, I'm sorry, guys. You know what? Why am I doing that? So we have Jester East, J Easy, Jester West, Jester Beach is right here. There's little stairs that run up to Jester East. And then there is all right, this is street. Yeah, we're drawing it this way. All right, and then there's the big like food place. Right? And then the street goes like this. And it goes like this. And then, so then where the volleyball team plays is this building right here. It's not Moncrief. What's it called? Gregory Gymnasium, aka Greg. This is JCL, Jester City Limits. They try to make cheap campus food sound cool, right? So this is the dorm that all the male swimmers are in. I think they're all now in another dorm, which is over here, which is San Jack, right? So we'll put up San Jack. There's like a little cul-de-sac down here and then sidewalks. that run to the street, right? Some people are gonna look at this and be like, "Oh, wow, that's really accurate." Right now, on Gregory, there's another street that runs here, and this pretty much runs through like the east side of not the east side, the north side of campus, where all the campus buildings are. Right, so here you have pretty much all your campus buildings. Like I think this one right here, this is the business building, Macomb School. That's what it is. All right, so that's pretty much where all the stuff is going on. Right here is the art museum is over here. Right, and those of you probably seen it. You know, let me just finish this. This is it Brazos? Yeah, Brazos Garage. And then you have the art museum. No, you have the library. Art museum. Just put an E on the end of museum like an idiot. Okay, so here you go, right? So if you ever been on MLK, that's MLK right there, right? And then you take this street up here, it would take you to the garage. If you go around, it takes you by the field where like the open field, right? San Jack is above that, and then you have sidewalks that run up to this street. Now, this is the street we're talking about right here, though. So we're walking out, right? We leave Jester East, and we're walking up to JCL, and I just remember seeing like those trays, like the lunch trays, just like chipped out. Like somebody took a hammer and just like took chunks out, and I'm like, okay, that's weird. And immediately I'm thinking like they must be putting their feet on these things, right? Because you know, trying to like snowboard or whatever. So we go up that street that I showed you, right here. And I'll never forget this. We're walking up the street. So behind this building, there's a huge slope that comes downhill and right into the sidewalk, like curb of Gregory. And I remember seeing these people like they had like taken or like unhinged like park benches, like the wooden benches with the two seats on the side and the table in the middle with like the metal things underneath it, and they were like riding this. I remember seeing it come down the hill, and it hits the curb, and everybody just like detonates and like explodes off into the snow. And I just want to be like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. But anyway, yeah, snow days, campus snow days are epic. All right, let me see if I can find this real quick. This picture. Sorry that the nose itch, guys. For those of you who don't know, whenever I get behind the camera, my nose just starts itching. I don't know why. And I never touch my nose or my face during the day, but the moment I get behind the camera, it goes crazy. All right, here we go. Oh, does it not? Shout out to Catherine Wagner. I can't believe I can't just slide through these. Here's another one. Right, there's a tire in the background. Let's see, there should be one where we're like in the middle of, yeah. This is us on 35 right here. I-35, the highway that runs through Austin, Texas. How does she have these pictures? She must have been with us. We must have ran into her. But yeah, it was a great time. And the reason, so let's get back to the main topic. You know, I got to show off a little bit. The thing I want to say about this, the team part, right? Spending time together is that's probably the most important piece to winning a title. So at UT, we have two traditions, right? And the first one is we have our clap meeting, right? So every Friday, we meet together at the end of practice, and we have a clap meeting, and that's where you call out behaviors, good things that are happening in your teammates' lives, whether that's in the pool, whether it's in school, whether it's in relationships, and we clap it up, right? So like I remember when sophomore year, Nick, he was like super pissed he didn't swim that well his freshman year. after being the number one recruit in the country, right? He didn't file on anything, and he was like on a revenge tour, and he was tearing up breaststroke sets. I remember one day, like, because he said he wanted to like redeem himself. I remember it was like December or something, and it was like noticeable how like hard he was going. And I remember, I think it was Brian Collins called him out. He was like, "Hey, Nick's really been getting after it. Like, I have no doubt that he's going to accomplish his goal and score some points at NCAA's this year." And you know, clap it up. And I think he ended up getting third that year, right? Went from not finaling at all to third place. So, you know, it's, you know, things like that. You know, you see someone doing good. You know, people call it, "Hey, Jimmy aces tests." Belikonich is pushing himself really hard this week. You know, Dax is no longer the worst kicker on the team, right? And then the second thing is after that Friday, we have team dinner. So I think it's upperclassmen I'll pick, and then it's kind of a vote, kind of not. They kind of have the final say, but they write the team dinner spot on the chalkboard, and we all go eat dinner together after that. You know, so I would say, I don't know what other people do, but as far as like team unity and tightness together, I think that there's nobody close to the University of Texas men's team. Not even close. Now, I don't know about what they're doing now. I've heard things. So, you know, it's not encouraging, but like you have to have these team bonding exercises. One, because it's like bonding happens, what do they say? Relationships are built off when people do things for other people, not when you do things for people. So like when you see people like cherishing you and your efforts, it makes a huge impact on yourself, like as a competitor and as a teammate. And, you know, just hanging out with the boys, you know, after dinner is just a fun thing, you know. Spending time, what did they say? They did a test where they studied the NBA championships for like 6-year span, and the team that always won gave the most high fives. Yeah. Team. All right, let's move on to the next one. Oh, this is a really good one.
Interesting things, and I don't know why it just stuck with me from years ago, but I was watching one of those like 2020 shows or 48 hours or something like that, and they were showing guys who trained dogs, like dogs who sniffed out gunpowder at the airport or contraband or whatever, you know. And I was looking at this thing and I was thinking to myself, I was like, every time there's a dog that does something, sniffs out drugs or explosives or whatever, they're all different breeds of dogs.
Right.
And I was like, why are they all different breeds of dogs? Like, why isn't there like one dog that does all super good at gunpowder and cocaine and whatever? And in the show, they go, well, we just go down to the pound. We get any dog and we can train them. And the guy goes, well, how do you know what dog to get? And they go, the enthusiastic dog. Like you go to the pound, some dog's just sleeping. You walk in, it doesn't lift its head. The other dog's jumping up and down, doing backflips, and they go, we'll get that dog. Because that dog's enthusiastic. Now, he doesn't know anything about gunpowder or cocaine, but he's got a motor, and we're going to teach him. And I started thinking, oh, I know a lot of people that are like tired pound dogs.
Yes.
And then I know a lot of people that are yappy pound dogs. And once you take the yappy pound dog, like Joe Rogan, you go, well, go ahead and get into bow hunting. And you go, what does he know about bow hunting? He's like, nothing, but he's going to find out. And he's going to learn and he's going to practice because he's got a motor.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people I know, they're just kind of flatliners and they don't have that motor. And if you have the motor, you'll be fine. The most interesting thing.
So I love that video. All right, I usually will delete or remove from, you know, you see the little black marker right there. I'll probably keep this one, the motor. And this is something I learned from other sports, right? And I honestly, I don't see it often in swimming. I'm trying to think if I ever have a motor. No, a motor. I don't think I have. Maybe McBroom. Yeah, but anyway, yeah, wow, that's crazy. So, like in other sports, like it's you like, so, excuse me, you know, coughing up the bad stuff. Certain positions, like say football, right? You have to have a motor, right? Defensive line, you know, where you have these huge heavy guys who get winded easy. Like, you gotta have that motor to keep going, and that's something they like literally recruit for. Like, does he have a motor when he gets tired? Like, does he keep going? Can this guy keep going? Defensive end too, because you know you gotta go up against someone who has like 60 pounds on you usually, right? They're like 260. The person that's blocking them is usually like 320, so they're undermatched. Like, and by all means should be overwhelmed, but do they have a motor? Can they beat this person through just willpower, right? And I guess that's maybe a good way to look at it with a motor, is it's willpower. And, you know, it's a very hard thing to see in swimming in practice. So, like, whenever I would coach, I would actually do other things to see who has, you know, the mental edge or a motor. Like dryland games in dryland, especially with the little kids, you want to identify it early. And then the second thing, he said enthusiasm, right? Like, if you have those things, guys, you just got to find the right thing. And I honestly think some of the enthusiasm may be like an ADD autism thing, because I know in my personal case, you know, I have very high functional on both of those things, or they were just misdiagnosed. So I learned to learn to get along. But like, I cannot focus on things that are uninterested to me. Like, you give me some swimming stuff, you give me some basketball stuff, or back then basketball stuff, like I can remember everything. Like, I had 2 classes. I had a childhood development class, and then I had one class that was on like aerobic capacity. And I can remember everything from those 2 classes. I slept through other classes. I can't remember anything. If you ask me, like, basically I went to college for 2 classes, right? Well, to be a coach, whatever, but, you know, athlete, student type stuff. But yeah, it's like the willingness to go beyond your, not even limit, but it's just like, okay, well, I'm gonna talk about myself, right? So a motor. This is how I got my motor. So obviously swimming takes your aerobic capacity to another level, especially if you're really getting after your practices. And then I had a physical enough body, developed body to play other sports through a lifetime of sports participation, right? So my body was used to the pounding on the knees and stuff from running and jumping and being athletic. So all of a sudden you take that and you combine it with the aerobic capacity I had, and I could go. Like, I never checked out of games. Like, I'll chase you down. You know, LeBron has his chase down blocks. I was doing that stuff in like 6th, 7th grade. You ask my teammates, they'll be like, yeah, Dax used to run down people. You know, maybe he get dunked on, not dunked on, but, you know, I try to catch somebody and they dunk it before I can get them. But yeah, I used to run down people. Get him, Dax. I remember my teammates said that one time. But yeah, I was hustleonomics over there, you know. I was an offensive rebound beast. I don't know if I can get to that data. Let me see if I can pull that up real quick. Dax Hill Max Preps. And I wish I'd known more about basketball to the point where I was getting trained. Round Rock. Because I would have been unstoppable. I didn't know you could go through people, right? Because that's a charge, right? But you can literally like go through, you know, you dribble and put that shoulder in their chest. You know, I would pivot, and if you turned and caught an elbow, that was on you. But I didn't know you could go through people's chests like that. Okay, let's see if we can find it. Dax full stats. Oh, they don't have my stat line? Come on, go back. Okay, there we go. Trying to find a game where we can see those rebounds. Okay, it'll show. All right, let me find one. Give me a second, guys. Sorry. God, look back at this, and I could have been an absolute beast. If I had just known more about like how to play the game. All right, let's see what we can get from this one. Box score. They want me to sign in. Oh, come on. All right, let's try this. Stats. Senior varsity. Oh, I can't pull it up. Okay, anyway, guys, so let's take a look at this real quick. Right, here's young Dax, looking handsome. Senior 09, 6'8", varsity basketball. Captain. But anyway, I used to grab like 16 rebounds in a game, I foul out, though, sometimes, so my stats are messed up. But if I had just known, it would have been over. Anyway, sorry, guys, we're going off on a tangent. Let's get back to business. This is a cool one.
And it just got to a story, and I was like, yo, I remember we was building or trying to be rappers, not even building, just trying to get names for the group or come up with names and concepts and so on and so forth. And somebody we worked with named their company Six Figure Entertainment. We didn't have a dollar, Mo. Yeah. None of us had a dollar, but Mace was like, yeah, I can't fuck with him. I said, what happened, Mo? He said, talking about six figures, his expectations is too low for me right now. We have a dollar. We have no money.
Yeah, we didn't have
no
dollar.
money, and this was May said. He said, yo, my nigga, his expectation, I can't really fuck with your man like that. He's already reached too low. My nigga, I'm talking about when I say we have a dollar, we may have had a dollar. Yeah. Literally. Maybe three.
Yeah.
Maybe three, and we might have just bought chicken wings that
we
night.
were sharing
and all that shit. But if that's your mindset, yes. You already thinking that he tapping out, and at 6, I don't want to be around him.
Yeah, Killer was looking at me like, nigga, you ain't got a dime. What are you talking about?
Because you know why?
We can't do that.
Nah, you know why? Because it wasn't about that Mace was wrong, because Mace was right. He's 100% right. But I'm just trying to keep the team together. He did the beats.
Yeah.
Murder, like I'm
Killer, like, listen to the beats. I said, I can't listen.
Yeah, I thought, I 100% agree with you. So I wasn't about not agreeing with you. I was more like, yo, Murder, let's get $2 because he got the beats. He my man, too. Like, nah, I don't want nothing to do with him.
And then we asked Blood and Blood go.
Yeah, but Murder do got a point. Why are we tapping out here? So, yeah, but that's part of having a vision of when you're young saying, I'm not settling for that. That's not where I wanted to end at.
So, yeah, that one really puts a smile on my face. And it's true. This kind of even goes to the enthusiasm and the motor part, right? Like, I don't want to say this. You have to be who you are. And you have to be careful. Like, I teach this a lot, especially to the girls that I work with on one-on-ones, because people dog us. Let's just say it like that. They don't believe in the technique stuff. And it's funny because it's like, I know you don't know as much as David Marsh knows. I know you don't know as much as Pearsall knows. Like, why are you making my kid feel bad? But anyway, and they go after the girls. They are not, it just tells you the character of these coaches sometimes. But anyway, I have to tell them, like, protect your mentals. And I think this is a beautiful example of it. Like, and this is what I meant to say with the enthusiasm and the motor, is how you do one thing is how you do everything. I firmly believe that, right? So if I can't do something, for instance, right, my mom asked me to caulk her, do like the bathroom caulk on the thing, right? And I probably didn't do it for like 6 weeks, because I knew that I wasn't going to put forth an A+++ dominant effort, right? And when I did, finally, my mind was in the right place. I did it the way she wanted, nailed it, right? Now, if she gave me bad instructions, I ended up having to take it all down. But the point is, like, I don't do anything, and this is the part, what my parents taught me, is like, if you're going to do something, be the best at it, right? So, And the reason why you want to protect your mental around stuff like this is because if you're doing things that you don't want to do and you're underperforming, you're teaching your body and your subconscious mind how to do that. Right? So that means it's going to affect your top level performance and the things you actually care about. Right? Now, in the same breath, the way that you do your top level performance is going to help the things you don't care about. Right? But you're still not going to be at peak because you don't care about it, right? So maybe now instead of getting an F, you get a C. You see what I'm saying? So, yeah, you got to protect your mental, man. Like he said, he didn't want nothing to do with him because he was talking about 6 figures, right? And he's like, you're dreaming too low. I don't want anything to do with this guy. He's poison. And I know Nick Saban even says this, the ex-head coach at Alabama, 8-time national champion, said mediocre people and like high-level achievers do not get along. And like the longer I'm alive, the more I can say that this is fact. Like there's things where it's like I can realize like, oh man, this person's a loser. Or, oh man, this person's soft. And it's like I want nothing to do with them, like because they're a liability. They're gonna do something where I need them to step up or whatever it is, or to think a certain way. Like I honestly thought about this too. Like this is a great example. Like you ever seen any videos where people are about to get in a fight and their girlfriend like gets in the middle of the fight? Like trying to hold the boyfriend back. So she's constraining the boyfriend who's in a violent altercation and with her back turned to the violence. Right? And I remember thinking about it. It's like, wow. Like I was like, so I got to fight him and my girl. Or fight him while my girl is constraining me. Like she's not on my team. You see what I mean? So I totally forgot the point of that. Oh, why did I say that was important? Oh yeah, because the people who are, it's like when I thought about it, I was like, if I get a girlfriend, like we got to discuss like how to handle ourselves, because we ain't gonna be in a fight or whatever, or you're not gonna see me in a fight and try and hold me back, right? Like I ain't about to fight you or fight him and have you hold one of my arms back. Right? Nah, ain't happening. Fight goes down, you run, you find the police or something like that. You go get the car. Yeah, even better, get the car. So when I knock him out, we can just hop in and skirt. But yeah, like you got to be careful who you surround yourself with. Protect your mental energy at all costs, everybody. And our final video, it's another is what it is.
Whoever's telling you to be polite, it ain't time to be polite. Niggas is on your neck. Pause. Like the dude that you was playing against, he had 30-something. Everybody is going to target you. Everybody wants to show that you don't belong here. So you go see the movie Spartan or 300. When the little boy said they wanted to put him in Spartan, LeBron, they left him on the mountain with the wolf. And if you come back, nigga, you win. It's that simple. Nigga. And if you die out there, you don't belong out here. That's really what gotta happen here. Because there is some killing you, but the way they're positioning you, it's not bringing that out of you. We might need to take you with us to the hood for the summer and then bring you back. And say, okay, he ready now. Hit Killer up. Killer gonna hit me up.
Go play in Dykeman, nigga. Go, we'll take you to Dykeman, nigga. We'll take you right to Michelle tournament on 127th and pardon me on 5th Avenue.
You need a girlfriend named Lakeisha and all that.
Yeah.
Ronika and them. You need to be with Ronika and them. And then go back to the Lakers. That's a murder, you know.
Talk about.
Yeah. You need that
of course, the no video strikes again, or no cam. So I think what he's saying is completely true. You know, I've said this before, like you could solve most of USA Swimming's their athlete problems, or lack of entertainment, if you just drop them in the hood. Give them a month. Can't leave the city. Give them a month in the hood. And like I remember as a kid, like, you know, I remember one time we went to, my mom's from Tuscaloosa, Alabama, you know, the Roll Tide people. And like the neighborhood we were staying in, like there was a shooting like up the street, like the week before we got there. So, you know, it's not anything to say about like, well, I guess it is. But the point is, like, your problems aren't as bad as they think they are, right? And you need some grit to be competitive, right? Now, swimming it's a much softer sport, but you know, playing basketball, kind of like this. Like I remember I got popped in the face by one of my cousins in Alabama, and I cried like a little girl. And I remember my aunt, his mom was like, "Oh, like he's not like us," like some stuff like that. And I just remember being like, "Oh wait, hold up, like you just call me a punk?" Like, and that was like, it's like a light switch. I think I was in like 6th or 7th grade. And I was like, oh no, like that ain't gonna fly. That ain't gonna fly, auntie. Like you ain't gonna have me out here being soft, right? So it was, you know, I had to buck up a lot of bit, you know. And then hoop culture, same thing, right? So, you know, and even in my own coaching, right? Like we would have this thing where if the kids were being ungrateful, like I remember one time I gave them something to be ungrateful for, right? And you know, we had this saying, it was like, it can always be worse. Right? Like, no matter what happens, it can always be worse, right? Like, you could lose, you know, I could lose all over Wrigley, but I still get to wake up every day, right? You know, I have a chance to get back on my feet and figure things out. Like, it can always be worse, guys. Like, there's people who have things, and that's why, like, when, at least personally, you know, dealing with, you know, having to buck up and be a lot more mentally tough, like, when I see stuff like Caleb Dressel, like, getting out of the games, or people like taking mental health breaks or whatever. It's like, yo, like you have no idea what mental health is. And people say, don't compare. Like, no, these people need a reality check, right? Your perception is not real. What is it? There's your perspective. Your perception is not the perspective. And people need to know this. Right, like you're here at Team USA, you get to swim and make medals and do swimming for fun and get paid for it, even though it's not a lot to pay. But and you're having a mental health crisis. Like, there's people. My mom grew up on dirt floors. What's she gonna do? Quit like you did? Like, you see what I'm saying? So, yeah, people like. And even Phelps has said it, and I remember he said it 2 years ago. He said it this year, right, about Team USA just not having the same like presence, aura, and he said it I think 2 years ago too. And like he didn't articulate himself very well, but I knew exactly what he was talking about. Like nobody fears us anymore, right? And this is what it is. Like fear comes from like a toughness created by your situation, and swimming is a country club sport, so. It is what it is. But that's it, guys. Thank you for watching. Thank you for hanging out. You know, if you really like the way that I'm talking about swimming and introducing these topics, make sure you go check out the Night Swim podcast. I'll put it below. Make sure you drop a comment. Let us know what you think about these topics. And leave a like. Hit the notification bell so you're notified whenever we drop a video. Thanks for hanging. Peace.